Okay, let's talk about the rectangular marquee tool, which is really just the marquee tool because you can do a few different shapes. Let's go, it's right under your move tool here. And if you click and hold, you've got various different options. For example, we can click this. That's really just a line. I don't find it super helpful, so I'm just going to focus on the top two. But if you want to explore any of these, go for it. Okay, so rectangular marquee tool. It works similarly to the rectangle tool, but instead of creating a shape, it just does the dotted lines around the outside, usually used for cutting out objects. If I don't hold down shift, then I can make it sort of whichever shape form of rectangle I want. If I hold down shift, it will create a perfect square. Sometimes you may find on your computer that it might be the opposite. So if you hold down shift, you can create whatever you want. And then if you don't, it will create a perfect square. Just see how you go. So anyway, let's cut something out of this picture. Okay, so I may want to just cut out this section. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly in line with what I want to cut out because there's nothing going on in the background in this layer. So if we have a look at the layer, I'm just on this layer. So again, making sure that you're clicked on the layer. I wasn't just then. So it won't work. Nothing will be cut out if I'm not clicked on the layer. So as you can see, I am not perfectly around the photo where I'm cutting it out. That doesn't matter. I can either just delete it, and that means that it's gone. I'm kind of cropping the image in a way. I'll just undo that for a second. Or the other thing I can do is I can right click and I can click layer via cut, which will cut it out and leave me with two separate layers that I can move independently. The other thing I can do is I can right click. Oh, sorry, I'm on the move tool. You have to be on the rectangular marquee tool. I can right click and I can click layer via copy, which means that I have the same image. I still have the original, but I also have my little cutout piece that I can do whatever I want with. Importantly, if you are finding that you have selected the area you want to cut out and you are on the rectangular marquee tool and it's not working for you to right click and cut things out, you may find that you've got a little square symbol on top of your image. This means that you have to rasterize the image. So you right click, and then you say rasterize layer. I can't click this now because my image is already rasterized. Something to keep in mind when you rasterize layers, if you have to be sure that you're ready to edit it and there's nothing left to do, because usually by rasterizing it you may decrease the quality a little bit, but it's not really something you need to worry about too much, but just keep that in mind. So if you can do things on your image without rasterizing, that's probably a good thing to do before you get to that point. But that's basically it for the rectangular marquee tool. You can also use the elliptical marquee tool, which is just the circular version. Okay, cool.